Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Hangout presented by Carolina Style Magazine. I am Brie, Wright, your host for the evening, and I'm very excited to have you for this first show. Now, we have four wonderful people. We've already been talking a little bit. We've had to save our conversation for you when you join us tonight. So I wanted to tell you about the live chat. If you want to join in on the chat, when you hear me ask a question of the panel is going to answer a question, the questions that I have. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. You can join us in the live chat. Just look at the bottom of your screen if you're on your phone and scroll down till you see the text that says live chat, and then you will be able to join us for tonight, okay? So I wanted to introduce my panel, yay! So first we have Allie Frazier. She's Communications Director at Sodoma Law. Say hi to Allie.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Allie.
Hi, Allie.
And then we have Trey McGriff. He is founder and director of the Cine Odyssey Film Festival. So welcome to you, Trey.
Thanks for having me.
And we have Jamaica Witten, who is she's a fashion and entertainment publicist and CEO at JSW Media Group. Say hello to Miss Jamaica Witten.
Hey.
Hey, Jamaica.
And finally,
What's up?
we have Erin L. Hulse, who is our creative director here at Carolina Style Magazine. She is also a photographer extraordinaire, and we're happy to have you. Say hi to Erin for me, everyone.
Hey, Erin.
Hi.
All right, y'all ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go.
Clock's ticking. We got the 10:15. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to throw that away. I think I've got it said there. Okay. First things first, let's talk about the Get Out movie. Now, I did go and see this during opening weekend, and since we have a film critic and director and founder of a film festival, I wanted to ask you, Trey, what did you, and don't give away any spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but what did you think about the movie, and would you recommend this movie to anyone who wanted to go and see it, who's interested in seeing it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was one of the most original films that I've seen in some while, particularly in this genre. If you guys remember a film called Tales from the Hood, it was made about 20 years ago, and what was interesting about that film was not only was it a film in the genre of horror, but it sort of dealt with social issues, very smartly made, and very reminiscent of this film, Get Out. And the thing about this film, you know, I grew up in New York and in the suburbs, and you know, I was reading an article very recently about the film, and they mentioned a term called liberal racism. I'd never heard of that before. And yeah, you know, where I grew up, it was predominantly African American and Hispanic neighborhood. There were some white residents of the neighborhood, but I'd never heard that term before. But without giving away any bit of the movie, you'll have to go see it. It deals with a term, liberal racism, that I had never heard of before.
So let me ask you, Trey, did you know about the plot, the underlying plot of the movie before you saw the movie?
Yeah, I did. You know, I had been anticipating this movie for about, probably like 3 or 4 months. I've been tracking it and following it. And so I was very familiar, with the plot. Some people compared the movie to a Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, if you remember the Sidney
Right.
Poitier film.
Yeah.
A horror version of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. But like I said, very interesting film.
It was interesting, and I did not know all of the undertones that were there in the movie before I went to see it. I just love a good movie. I had a very rare night out, and so I said, I'm going to go to the movie. What am I going to watch? And we went and we saw that, and I really did like the movie. Let me tell you that right now the movie is at #2. It debuted on Rotten Tomatoes at 100%, which I don't know if that's unprecedented. I do know it's rare. It's 99% right now, Rotten Tomatoes. and it grossed $78 million so far with a budget of $4.5 million. So it's doing really, really well. And then Allie, you actually saw something today from Funny or Die that spoofed the Get Out movie. Tell us about what you saw really quickly.
So Funny or Die put out a short little, it's about a minute or a half, and I know Brie was going to post it, but it said, "Get out of the White House." And it was this snarky, creepy little mashup of Ivanka bringing the main character from Get Out home to meet her father, Donald Trump, the president, which, as you can imagine, it's not anything I would want to do. I can't imagine it. I'm sure some people would, but tangent. I think that there's guest appearances by Ben Carson and Kanye, and they even have Kanye having a little breakdown there and saying, "Don't pay attention to anything you see on the news." It's very interesting, and it's a very clever spoof, and it doesn't give away too much of the ending. So if you want to watch that before you go see the movie, you definitely can.
Yes, I'm going to put the link down below as soon as we wrap from being live. So definitely check that out. It's hilarious. If you've seen the movie, comment and let us know if you like it, or if you don't want to see the movie, let us know why. But definitely check that out. Okay, let's move on. So the next topic we're going to talk about really quickly is social media and Snapchat. Snapchat went public. It was one of the biggest tech IPOs with the valuation, I think, of $24 billion. Jamaica, are you on Snapchat? Did you buy any shares?
I am on Snapchat, and of course, she would talk to the publicist about, like, you know, the social media apps. I love it. I love Snapchat, and I so wish that I had the money to not yet, but I totally need to as soon as possible. I'm putting my little coins together right now. I don't know. This is really cool, I think. I'm always excited when new apps and stuff gets on it, gets to the public and people can actually buy in. It's just kind of interesting to see how long Snapchat is going to be around, because Instagram is they're such haters, and they like basically copied everything. Okay. Snapchat came out with it first. How the heck is Instagram going to come in and just like do all the damn filters and all this stuff? Like, that's just wrong. It's just, they're masquerading. I don't like it.
Instagram has done that before. I think Vine. Let's take a quick survey. How many of you are on Snapchat and use it? Raise your hand. We have one in Jamaica. So half of the panel pretty much really use Snapchat. So that'll be interesting to see that. I'm going to move on quickly to... Let's talk a little bit of hip hop and rap. How about that battle between Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma? Anybody want to jump in?
She third. Okay, sorry, just had to. Yeah, okay, so like I'm just jumping in because a lot of people I saw, especially on my Facebook timeline, they were talking about how they didn't really think that Remy came hard in terms of her delivery. I don't care about the delivery, the words, the lyrics. That is what matters. She came with bars, and Nicki just needs to go home.
Bars.
And not do anything.
Let me chime in here real quick. This is good for hip hop. Every now and then hip hop needs a swift kick in the butt. It's becoming very stale. And one of the things that always jump starts, hip hop is the battle. And the fact that Remy Ma chose the ether beat.
Oh my God.
That was brilliant.
What else?
And I gotta say, and a lot of people have been giving them grief, saying it's like two women battling and two women shouldn't be, tearing each other down. Y'all, if you know the history of hip hop, it's hip hop. This is hip hop culture. Let's not read too much into it. This is a rap battle. Get over it and stop being so sensitive and fragile.
Come hard.
Do we think that Nicki Minaj is going to respond?
No, she shouldn't.
Go ahead, Erin. What'd you say?
She should. Well, no, I'm saying no, she shouldn't. It's the old school hip hop East Coast West Coast battle, but and please don't take this the wrong way, because I don't care if anyone's a feminist. I'm the first one not to burn my bra, but I'm for women's rights and all that. But it's like hip hop power puff. Power together. They're not going to be pulling any guns. They're not going to have anyone, we're not going to have any drive-bys through this. And I think it's real raw. It's real hip hop in a sense. So it's good. Jamaica's right. It's what's needed. You guys are right.
And to answer your question, Allie, I think people were upset with Nicki Minaj because she's right now, as far as we know, unless she dropped something before we got live, is choosing not to respond because she's so-called going to go above the drama. The problem is that she has attacked. She's definitely hurt. I'd be hurt by that. But she's attacked other people in the industry who maybe can't fight back, like Taylor Swift, who people like to pick on. Hannah Montana, what's her name? Miley Cyrus. That she kind of started, things with them, but those are people who maybe can't fight back. So we'll be looking, Nikki, to see if you respond or if you don't. Let me know your comments. It looks like we do have some comments.
I was going to say, we would have known because Twitter would have told us if she had responded, okay?
Yeah, they definitely would. And actually, I thought she did. I looked on Facebook. I thought she had a response, and it was a spoof. It was not a response. Yeah. So, Allie, Lerone Langston agrees with you. Hip hop is dead. It was actually hip hop Remy Ma versus rap, which is Nicki. Notorious Nerd agrees, and he says bars, and that she doesn't want those problems with Remy. So, Nicki, maybe you don't need to respond. Let's go ahead and move along and rise above. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to ask you, Trey, and any of the other ladies. Kevin Garnett recently referenced Beyonce as his workout inspiration. Now, as the male on the panel and any males watching, would you reference Beyonce as maybe your workout idol, so to speak?
Probably not. But
I mean, if you're chasing her down a trend.
Hey, I give Kevin Garnett is a Hall of Famer. He can say whatever he wants, and I mean, if Beyonce inspires him to work out, I mean, I read an article where he said, the fact that she can sing and dance at the same time, that inspired him. So he went out and he would actually, during his workouts, actually sing. And what that did was help him, develop his breath control, so that he was a very tough defender, as an athlete. So, and a lot of times he would bark out instructions to his teammates on the defensive end. So he said that really helped him. But good for him. I wouldn't do it, but good for him.
Well, and you're exactly right though. He says that it's for the stamina, and that's what being able to talk and breathe. It's like, have you tried to run upstairs and talk to the person beside you? But all I can think is of Beyonce with twins leaning back in that chair singing, and if that's not stamina, I don't know what is. Okay, so if it's good enough for Beyonce, it's good enough for me. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I can attest to that, but we're not going to talk about twins tonight. I'm so glad they're sleeping and I can have some adult conversations. So we're going to move on. The very last thing, and Jamaica, someone is requesting that you bust a rhyme for us. Sean B is asking, but we're not going
to. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
I didn't realize I was with talent tonight.
Yeah, we'll probably won't do a rap battle tonight, but we'll save that for another night. So the last topic I want to talk to, and we only have just another minute left, we have to get into politics, okay, because I don't really know. There's so much happening with politics. Yeah, Kellyann, this past week alone, Kellyann Conway is on the couch in a photo op picture, which appears to be a business meeting. Then you have Trump, who does his one of his addresses, one of his speeches, and he got pretty good reviews on that. And then you have the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and the drama that he was going through with pretty much, lying under oath, or maybe not being as accurate as he should have been under oath. And then Saturday, Trump tweets about Obama and the wiretaps, which is crazy because he pretty much implicated himself, if any of that is true. And then today they dropped the 2.0 of the travel ban 2.0. So much happening in politics. Now, Allie, as a communications director, if you were advising Mr. Trump, would you take away his cell phone? How could you help them right now? Is there any help for them right now?
You know, sometimes all I can think is, what would my mother do? In this situation, she would absolutely take my cell phone away, because whether it was Kellyann on the couch in a dress, or the media fawning over his address, or Sessions lying under oath, or Trump just saying something based on nothing, all I can think is, who raised you? Because my mother would not let this happen right now. But on a serious note, as a communications director, part of me really has wondered, ethically, yes, but also is it a good idea to let him maintain his personal versus his, at POTUS versus at real Donald Trump? Like it went over, and they've never really taken ownership of it, and I think that's been its own problem. But it raises some serious questions when there's multiple spelling errors, and just, it's a lot to take in, and I feel like it can distract from what's really happening, but at the same time, that doesn't mean the things aren't worth paying attention to, if that makes sense.
Have, in addition to your comment, the Notorious Nerd, who will be on our show in the next couple of weeks, so make sure you watch. I think he's booked for the 20th. He's saying that this is all distractions, and I am seeing something on Facebook that says, don't let all of this be distractions and not talk about the real topics, which are a lot of the things that they're rolling out in these bills that we probably are not going to get a chance to discuss because we are too distracted talking about people being on the couch and things. Really quick, Aaron, do you want to give your take on how can you help the White House, or is there any help in them right now?
I would say no, there's no help, but 45 will do what 45 does, and Kellyann Conway is trifling. That is a business meeting. I'm sorry, but her mother did not raise her right.
Agreed.
Donald Trump is absolutely insane. And I look at the travel ban as is still a ban. I can't even acknowledge it. It's the same thing, just different language. It's still, it's still alienating people. And when you think globally, you don't want to do that. You want, you just think of the United States as a neighborhood. Well, you're not welcome to my neighborhood. Just don't get me started. But yeah, they need some help. Okay, I'll stop.
No, they definitely.
Well, and my point was my final point on it is that, yes, they're distractions in the sense that it's not that they're things we shouldn't be addressing. It's that those are things that we can't really directly impact. Whereas the things that we're not talking about that are happening in our local communities and our state levels are things that we can at least try to impact. And those are the things that aren't being talked about. So I feel like distraction isn't the best use of the term because they're relevant, but it's more, let's get our priorities right. I'm not talking about 2020. We're talking about 2018, right? Let's get our priorities straight to make some things happen now.
Well, it also really quickly just seems as though, I wonder if they're doing any of this on purpose to be a distraction, or if they really are just a hot mess. Real quick, I want to mention some of the bills that they're trying to pass through. Terminate the Environmental Protection Agency, terminate the Department of Education, repeal the Affordable Care Act, defund Planned Parenthood, criminalization of abortion. There's a lot going on that's being passed that we're not really talking about because this White House is just so much happening, and it's like, oh my, I think we're a little bit not used to this.
So much.
And
it's a hot mess. It's definitely a hot mess. And I think that part of the problem, I do think it's part of it is distraction, because distraction is actually a political tool that's been used for ages to slide other things under the radar so that the general public doesn't pay attention.
Absolutely. And I will comment really quickly that Stephanie Newman made a comment and said, "Go Allie, your mama raised you right." So
all of our mamas raised us right, apparently.
That's right. And I see my mama just made a comment too. So, hey, Mom, I love you. And hey, we are like 5 minutes over time, so we have to cut this short, but I have enjoyed speaking with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for being on the panel. To Allie Frazier, Aaron Hubs, Jamaica Witten, and Trey McGriff, thank you so much for being on the panel. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you will join us next week. We have a brand new panel next week, 10 o'clock. We're going to try to stick to 15 minutes, but as you can see, these topics are so good, and we want to talk more, but we can't. So leave us any comments in the chat. I think you can still do that. Share your comments on Twitter. Use the hashtag #HangWithBrie. Facebook, we'd love to keep the discussion going. Until then, we see you next week. So good night.
Good night.
Night.